Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Footy Social. As you can probably tell, the mood in the room today isn't what it usually is. We're not as upbeat because we've had a couple of days to take it in though, Dan, you open me.
Yeah, let it stew over.
I'm just still a bit speechless, to be honest. I mean, it's now Thursday today, so the game was on Sunday, and I'm still struggling to put it into words. I mean,
it's because there's nothing to distract us, is there? There's no other football to distract us. That's what usually gets. That's what usually happens.
Like if you lose the Champions League final, it's like, all right, Euros now.
Yeah.
But if you lose this, the Premier League is on its way back. We will be doing more Premier League videos. I think this one we've got one more, and then we'll wrap up the Euros. But yeah, we're just going to do an England reaction. What do you think of the game overall?
I mean, to be honest, I thought we weren't. I don't know. I felt it was harsh to lose it, but it would have been harsh on Italy to lose it as well. So I felt like, to be honest, a penalty shootout was the best way to decide it. And I mean, we bottled the penalties. Italy didn't. So at the end of the day, they deserved to win it. Really, that's all I can say.
Well, they bottled it just less than us.
Yeah.
Pickford did nothing wrong.
Yeah, it was a game of goalkeepers, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, two very good goalkeepers. Donnarumma was a very good keeper. I think we had the first half.
Yep.
Good goal at the start, but we just never. It's sort of like we score and then backs against the walls now for 88 minutes. You're never going to win the game. They're always going to score one, aren't they?
Yeah, there's no way you could hold on to a lead for 88 minutes. You have to, once you sort of shake them up early. We should have gone for a second. Obviously, it just got to our heads, which is probably the inexperience. At the end of the day, Italy had a 36-year-old and a 34-year-old as their defenders. We've got a 19-year-old coming on off the pitch, and yeah, it did just sort of show a lack of experience, sort of excitability.
Yeah. I think Southgate got it all wrong that game. You go 1-0 up, and you need to get that second, and mentally it hits the Italians so hard, and they're going to struggle to get back from that 2-0 down early on.
Yeah,
but it's like 1-0, and then we didn't really do anything. We were the better team in the first half, but Italy did nothing either. And then Mancini.
And especially it's because once Italy get into their group, they are impossible to break down. And they weren't in the groove early on, so we had to take advantage of that.
Yeah, and then when Mancini saw Moble's done nothing, Insigne's, I think he got brought off as well, he's done nothing. Right, let's change it up. He changed it up and it worked for them. They got a goal back and they looked very dominant in the second half and throughout extra time. I don't know what Harry Kane was on about in his post-match conference. It was could have gone either way. I was like, I think Italy deserved it in the second half.
Well, it would have helped if Harry Kane actually turned up, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, you can always trust him with a penalty.
Yeah.
We'll go on the penalties in a minute. But, again, he just gets quite... you blame Harry Kane, but then again, he just gets quite isolated in the way we were set up. We were so defensive, 5 at the back with 2 CDMs. All he had was Mount and Sterling, really, to try and create. And both of them had poor games, I thought. So it's not like he was getting delivery after delivery and just scuffing them wide. He just struggled to get into the game, and it was just like the same amount.
He was dropping so deep, wasn't he?
Well, that's what you do when you're
Kane
up front.
was dropping so deep.
When you're up front and you're like, oh, I'm not getting the ball, you start to drift in and try and get it yourself and create something yourself, which Harry Kane does quite well, actually. I thought the Rice off Henderson was a weird one. I didn't see there was just like.
Well, especially since he took off Henderson again. And it was like, well, I mean, I'd assume he's bringing on Henderson for the experience to sort of manage it out to penalties, and then he takes them off anyway. So it was like, you could have just kept Rice on the whole game, because Rice is probably better at penalties than Henderson, even though he's missed a couple, hasn't he? Has he missed one for you?
Rice hit the post against West Brom. He scored 2, I think, so he's only taken 3. Yeah, I reckon Rice would have been up for a penalty if... Because he's got that... we can go on to penalties now. He's got that, I'm just going to hit it. So when he against West Brom, he just hit it, aimed at a corner and hit it, and got unlucky to hit the post.
It's like Harry Maguire. It was just like, I'm not no fan against him. I'm just going to smash it. It was a brilliant penalty, wasn't it? Yeah. It's like, once
Harry Kane as well knows how to take a penalty. I know he missed against Denmark, but he still scored the rebound, so we don't even need to talk about it.
Yeah, you put it in a place where the keeper can't get it, even if he dives the right way, and that's it. You're going to score a penalty. None of this stutter rubbish. One of this fancy.
Rashford, what was he doing?
Yeah, it was a
It was
shocking penalty.
awful. Considering he can score very good penalties.
Well,
Like,
he's had
I'd
a lot
say
of practice. I mean, he's
he's had,
taken
yeah.
dozens for Man United, hasn't he? I mean, they win a penalty every 5 minutes.
Some
So
penalties I see Rashford take, they're unsavable. Like,
mm,
keeper does the right way, but they still go in the back of the net.
he just absolutely knuckleballs him into the top corner, doesn't he? And it's like,
Yeah, I know people are saying, "Oh, well, yeah, he got brought on. He didn't have any match time."
yeah. I mean,
You're a professional
it's a
footballer.
5 yard run up to kick a ball 12 yards. I don't
Yeah,
think it's got anything to do with.
you're a
You don't
professional
have to play
footballer.
45 minutes.
He's on. I don't know what he's on, but he's probably on about 200k a week. He should be able to score from that. I know players don't, but when they don't, they should be um, they should be blamed for that. And Rashford and Sancho and Saka. I know Sancho and Saka are young players. They're still on a lot of money, and they're still professional footballers. They're not Sunday league school kids. They need to take a blame for missing the penalties. I know Southgate as well needs to take blame. People are like, why put Saka on it? Well, Saka put himself forward.
Mm.
If Saka didn't want the penalty, Southgate wouldn't have put him forward.
But I guess it's one of the things where Southgate should have just said, like, yeah, listen, I admire your bravery, little lad, but just
Of course,
no,
Southgate should have.
not
If
yet.
Southgate, but apparently Grealish put himself forward.
Yep.
I don't know about Sterling.
Well, I heard reports that actually Pickford was meant to be the sixth penalty, so it wasn't even going to be Grealish or Sterling. I can't remember who I heard that from, but yeah, even if Saka scored, yeah. So even then, I mean, why wasn't Pickford on the fifth one then? I mean,
Yeah,
if we're going to be that bold, putting him on the first sudden death one. But
I've seen as remember when? I mean, if you remember it, I don't know if you've seen it. It was like Everton played someone in a pre-season friendly, like when John Stones played for them, and he took a penalty in like the middle, like Perlo.
Mm.
And everyone's like, why didn't John Stones take one? I was like, that's probably the only penalty he's ever scored in his life.
Yeah.
But we had a lack of penalty takers on that pitch, really, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then that's it. Like, I remember against Colombia, we had Rashford scored a good penalty. Trippier can take one. Grealish don't take pens. Sterling does take pens, but is he like? It was just.
I doubt he's very consistent. Yeah, I mean Trippier was a poor one. We should have kept him on, really.
Yeah. He got taken off a Saka, didn't he, to go forward at the back? It was way too late. By that point, Italy had gotten into their groove, and we could have played at the back. We still wouldn't have scored a goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it is just one of them times where sometimes you do just have to sort of put your hand up and just say, to be honest, Italy were the best team of the Euros, weren't they?
Yeah, overall they probably were.
Yeah, and they deserved the win.
And if we had beaten them on penalties, we probably would have been the best team in the Euros. But
yeah, we would have been.
It's just fine margins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't need to blow teams away to be, the best team. Do you?
I think Italy and
England
both deserve to be there. We and us and Italy were the best two teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a real shame because all our games, apart from one, were at home. It was basically a home tournament.
Mm.
We had not the easiest of runs. I don't want to put a downer on it. We played a Germany team, although they're not as good as they used to be, they're still a good side.
Yep.
Denmark are a very good side. Ukraine was quite easy. Ukraine weren't that great, but we battered them. So it's not like we struggled past them and we were lucky. We absolutely tore them apart. We topped our group as well. We deserved to be in that final.
And then in the day, it was a penalty shootout, wasn't it? You could say about the Croatia game, we did bottle it because Croatia just absolutely battered us in the extra time. But Italy was just...
we could have gone...
Good for a coin, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But I'm looking now. The reason why I'm so gutted is because that's the best chance we're going to get. Like, when's the next time we're going to get a home tournament and we get to a final at Wembley?
And they won't let us host one after all them crowd troubles as well, will they? They won't let us host.
Well, they say that, but how you wait for it, how they love money.
Yeah.
And how much money they'd get if it was hosted in all the big stadiums and everything.
Money does talk. Yeah.
So I can see it. I can see us. Aren't we going for 2030? Is that a World Cup?
I think the next Euros is at Germany, isn't it?
Germany's 2024. I don't know if there's 2020. I don't know if we're going for the year. I think we're going for the World Cup.
Right.
I think it's us, Wales, Scotland, Ireland, Northern Ireland are all going to go as joint bids. Which mean 5 host countries, so there's automatically 5 teams. It's basically just a way for Scotland and Northern Ireland and all them just getting the World Cup, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, aren't they trying to expand the World Cup again or something ridiculous?
Oh yeah, they're going to 48 teams, so it's like
Yeah,
they
it's
love changing
pretty
the formats.
ridiculous.
There's going to be not England related, but we'll talk about it anyway. There's going to be three. It's not sorry, not three. 16 groups of three. Does that work out right? Yeah, that's 48.
Yeah,
And then the top two are going to go through into the round of 16, and the bottom teams out. That's how they're going to do it.
ridiculous.
Starting in 2026. That's not 2022. It's starting in 2020.
I mean, how positive are we feeling about the World Cup next year? Like, I still think it's just a bit too early. And I mean,
Yeah,
if we get rid of
no,
Southgate now, which by the way isn't happening,
no.
Southgate isn't. It will be in charge of the World Cup next year.
I'll give him the next World Cup.
Yeah, but
As
it's like
defensive and pragmatic and boring and he is, and I'd much rather see with the attacking talent we have and a more attacking manager, you have to give Southgate the next World Cup.
and it's just too short a time period. Whoever comes in only has 2 international breaks to prepare for a World Cup. It's just not enough, is it?
When you look in the year, a lot changes. The Euros was last year. Like Mount and Foden were like 50-50s on getting into the squads, and then suddenly this year they're
Madison
like
would have been in it.
guarantees. Yeah, Madison would have been there. There'd been a totally different squad.
John Stones probably wouldn't have been in it.
John Stones wouldn't have been in it. You'd have had probably Maguire and maybe Gomez.
Yep.
Danny Ings would probably have been there. I'm thinking who else had good seasons last year. I think there was a couple of others. Don't come to the top of my head, but I was thinking about it the other day.
But I think you still keep the spine, don't you? I mean, the spine is always going to be Maguire, Henderson, Harry Kane, Declan Rice, Pickford. So I feel like the spine is basically it's just
the three attacking players can. Those three can all are so interchangeable because we've got so many good players in that position.
It's just sort of like we got like the meat of the team. It's just like the veg on the side is the bit that's going to change.
The one thing I really hope for is that Reece James turns into the player that he can be, because Kyle Walker
he's the oldest player in the squad, isn't he?
But yeah, he's getting on a bit. He's good. Kyle Walker probably has the next World Cup in him, and then he'll start to lose all his pace. Yeah. I thought he was immense this tournament, Walker. I thought he was really good.
I mean, he's just physically so impressive, isn't he?
And I just hope
how fast he is.
We get so many promising lads, James and Trent as well. Trent's a bit different. He's more a technical right back. Whereas James and Walker are more like physical right backs. Yeah, they're technical. They obviously have very good technical ability. You know what I mean? I just hope that one of them turns out to be as good as we've got as Walker. We've got such a good back four in that Walker, Maguire, Stone, Shaw. With Pickford, it's just such a solid back five to have, especially with Rice and Henderson. Even Calvin Phillips really impressed me this tournament. You've got three players there that are really.
I mean, the goal conceded for Italy wasn't really anyone's fault, was it? It was just a scrappy goal.
I've seen apparently John Stones might have been fouled. I mean, it would have been harsh.
Yeah,
but,
we would have minded about it if it was.
And we would have conceded later on anyway. So what's the point of complaining?
Yeah.
It's just gutting that we went lost on penalties.
But yeah, I mean, the reason is that we lost is that we didn't score more than them, and I'm afraid that does fall on the manager. Really, playing a five at the back.
Over here.
Yeah.
To win the game, we need to score more goals than them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very simple game. It only takes a second to score a goal, as Brian Clough said. Just kick the ball in the net, and you will win it. And I'm afraid if you kick the ball in the net once and you don't try again,
we're very pragmatic. Southgate plays football, manages football like I manage football manager. Literally, go 1-0 up or like 2-0 up maybe, and I'll just stick everyone on part of the bus and see the game out like the 50th minute. And it usually works for football manager because it's a game. But in real life, it doesn't.
You got to have a bit more about you. So yeah, I mean, I can't see it changing his ways for the World Cup. So I'm afraid.
What are your predictions? I mean, I know this is early predictions, but what are your predictions for the next World Cup? I mean, we're going to have to try and win it.
I mean, it's going to be much the same, really. It's just gonna.
I think
it's going to be promising, but disappointing.
The best teams are in Europe, so I wouldn't say Brazil and Argentina. What was the final the other night? Neither of them looked that impressive. You can have a Messi, going to be about 35. Is he 35 next winter? He's going to be. That'll be his last tournament, maybe. Yeah. You have a Ronaldo who's going to be even worse than he was this tournament. I know he's got 5 goals, but I think he'll be great.
I mean, well, I guess the issue is you can only see some of these teams getting better, and some that, like Germany, are only going to get worse. I would say. Yeah. Spain have quite a youthful squad. I would say Spain will only get better.
I think Italy might get a bit worse.
That back line
That back
is
line
old,
is
but
getting
the midfield is just fantastic,
exactly
isn't it? So that's
But
sort of
that back
balances out.
line is what won them the tournament. You take Bonucci
Yep.
and Chiellini out and put Kirby and someone else in.
It'd be Bastoni or whatever it was.
Yeah, Bastoni. That's
is a massive downgrade.
yeah, it's a massive downgrade. And that's don't get me wrong. That team will still be a good team, but it's not going to be like that title winning side.
I don't see Portugal being a threat.
France depends on every.
The issue with France is that France just always beat themselves, don't they?
Yeah,
this has been going back since I was a kid. I mean, the 2010 World Cup, they just knocked themselves out. I don't know why it's always France that has these issues. And considering they literally won the World Cup last time out.
The one time that everything went perfect for France, like the whole squad was happy, was when they won it. Every other time, it's a bit like. And
I have to say, I feel like the issue with this Euros was. I'm not going to lie. I think it was bringing Benzema in. Something just went weird.
Yeah,
and Mbappe started acting so strange. Like the fact that him and Giroud. I don't know why we talk about France. Obviously, it's an English reaction, but it's just a Euros reaction, really. But I mean, the way that Mbappe and Giroud were sort of beefing in like press conferences, it's like you're in the same squad. It was really weird. So I don't know. France are going to be strange. In the World Cup.
The vibe changed in that camp, and I think their whole mentality was Giroud up front that won them the World Cup went out the window, and I thought they were very poor in every.
It was reliant on star quality, and I think Mbappe's going to do it.
And then that was it really. Every other game they sort of struggled and scraped through at top of the group. But I'm going England have to win next because it's going to be hard. Qatar's going to be hot. Different conditions. That's why people are favouring a South American team. But South American team.
I mean, they all play in Europe anyway. South America.
I know, Brazil and Argentina. No youngsters coming through there that I can really pinpoint. I know you've got a few young.
Their entire squad plays in Europe, so you can't use the weather. They're not going to be favoured by the
weather. No. Qatar maybe be favoured by the weather.
Yeah.
Who knows a Qatari player? No one. But yeah, we'll probably do more international World Cup build up on the international breaks that will be coming up in like September and October. But for now, it's just going to be Premier League until we get round to next winter for the World Cup. We'll do some more England squad, pick our England squad for the international friendlies versus Faroe Islands and Scotland or something boring like that. But yeah, unfortunately, we couldn't bring it home, even though we wanted to. Watch out for the next video, which is going to be us reacting to our Euros predictions, which who knows? Who knows how that's going to go? But they're usually a good laugh. But yeah, thanks for watching, and here's the outro.